America, I love it. You love it. I like this version of America where we agree that we're a country and that we have certain values in common, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, liberty, all that stuff. But this is going away and going away fast. Pretty soon, it could be more along the lines of this. No joke. We are going here very, very fast. The entire country is being hijacked by the far left woke community. We are being hijacked, and that is terribly, terribly unfortunate. I think we got to fight back, and I've been revitalized, actually, because when the athletes started kneeling, I objected, but after a while, I stopped caring. I mean, okay, they're a bunch of idiots, and they're kneeling, and have at it. But now I'm seeing it's happening at the Olympics. At the Olympic Games, they are kneeling. Our soccer team, that crew, kneeling. And they even got the Swedes to do it. By the way, this is not doing much for their game. All of this stuff has taken their focus, the athletes, off of what they really should be concerned about. In the run-up to the Olympics, they were actually wearing Black Lives Matter shirts. You see this? Not only kneeling for the flag, but wearing Black Lives Matter stuff, paraphernalia. We'll get into, in a moment, a quick review of how corrupt and warped and sick the ideology is behind Black Lives Matter. But again, this is doing nothing for their soccer. They lost 3-0 to the Swedes, not known as a particularly effective team when it comes to soccer. So, Black Lives Matter. It's damn near destroying this country. The ideology in every ignorant person who goes around and starts a fire and jumps on a car, they have no idea what's really at work here. We've seen the results, though. These kinds of images are glorified. Hey, how about when President Trump went in front of that church with a Bible? Somehow that was abhorrent, yet a Black Lives Matter banner in front of that same church. That's the scene today, right there on the right. That's okay. That's beautiful. That's how it should be. A real quick recap about what Black Lives Matter stands for, all right? There is an ideology, there is an organization, and some of this stuff has been scrubbed off their website because, well, they started feeling the heat. But take a look at this noxious, toxic nonsense. Their mission statement: we are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift black trans folk especially. Yes, especially black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. I know this is all gobbledygook, but it goes on. We build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. Look, I don't like misogyny, I don't like sexism, but the men, this is very anti-male, it seems. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family, you know, mother, father. Structure requirements by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another. This is socialist, atheistic nonsense and gobbledygook, really. And we have soccer players wearing their shirts and kneeling to impress these folks. Very strange. And again, as a practical matter, it's taken their eye off the ball because with this movement has come plenty of opportunities. The one with the pink hair, you know, she's also a talk show host in addition to her soccer playing duties.
How can we have this bigger conversation? For me, the point is to get the whole story.
This is the first election where I feel like we are actually voting for our lives.
I have this joke. Are we in the downfall section of our Wikipedia page right now?
I'm a gay female athlete. I can't ever just be one thing. Is there an opportunity to shift our country?
Injustice is not built to last.
I saw the show. It's pretty bad. AOC, you know her. Nicole Hannah-Jones with the red hair. She's a 1619 Project person. And what about Megan Rapinoe, the soccer star / talk show host? What is she again?
I'm a gay female athlete. I can't ever just be one thing.
She might be hung up that she's gay. Nobody else is. It's fine. It's the athlete part, I think, they gotta start focusing on. Again, can I see that score, please? They lost 3-0 to Sweden. Better luck next time. I think they play again on Saturday. Embracing Black Lives Matter and neglecting our primary duties. That's what the culture seems to want right now. And Jeff Bezos is not helping. All right, there he is, ecstatic. He just got back from space. At first, I thought it was pretty cool, actually. He funded it himself, or actually, I guess the workers did. He got to outer space, had fun for about 3 minutes. You saw that, right?
Yeah, well done. Here, toss me one. Let me try. Here it goes.
All right. Good for him. Good for him. He had a little bit of fun. It's not that big a deal. Did not go high as Alan Shepard did 60 years ago. But this is a step in the right direction. Let's face it, NASA for a couple of years there seemed to drop the ball. And this ultimately could take a lot of people to space. And then when he got back on the ground, he ruined the whole thing. He unveiled a great big, rather silly award, the Courage and Civility Award, recognizing leaders who aim high, pursue solutions with courage, and always do so with civility.
I am announcing today a new philanthropic initiative, and if you could put the slide up so people can see it. It is called the Courage and Civility Award. It recognizes leaders who aim high and who pursue solutions with courage and who always do so with civility. Well, let me tell you how I feel about this. I feel strongly enough I actually wrote something down. We live in a world where sometimes, instead of disagreeing with someone's ideas, we question their character or their motives. And guess what? After you do that, it's pretty damn hard to work with that person. And really what we should always be doing is questioning ideas.
Sounds beautiful. It's actually not. It's an implicit criticism of you-know-who, Donald Trump, and it's hypocritical. Big time, big time. I'll get to that in a moment. What's actually happening here, and we touched on this last night, but I want to go a little bit further. This is virtue signaling. Jeff Bezos went into space with 3 other people. They all happen to be Caucasian. Now, that's fine with me. That's fine with normal people of any race. But given the moment we're in right now, and given that it's Amazon and corporate America, and you can't have 4 white people on such a stage with all that visibility, you got to bring up some people of color really quick. And that's what they did. They actually used these guys. One is Jose Andres, what is he again? He's a chef. And the other one is Van Jones. You may have seen him on CNN. And they gave each of these guys $100 million to basically do whatever they want with. Give it to their own charity, other charities. This is totally bizarre. Van Jones is a nasty talking head on CNN.
We haven't talked about race. This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
You remember, right? 2016, it was a choice between 2 white people. This guy is a total piece of work and a great big phony. He's getting an award, a $100 million award for being civil. Civil. Is this civil?
How were the Republicans able to push things through when they had less than 60 senators, but somehow we can't?
Well, the answer to that is they're assholes. Barack Obama's not an asshole.
That's so cute. Again, this is, no kidding, Mr. Civility, $100 million for his civility. So there has to be more to this guy, right? I mean, they know that he's a hothead, that he says horrible things that gets him fired from the Obama administration that actually happened. So what is there to this man, really? Well, let's go back to Jeff Bezos.
Hey guys, can you roll the little video we put together about Van Jones? Can you roll that little video, please? Short video.
Van has been a part of much change. He has birthed a number of different grassroots community organizations. He also helped us bring together climate justice and racial justice, and what that meant in particular for low-income communities of color.
You can't live in a country where you just have sacrifice zones, whether it's talking about South Central or Appalachia or the Rust Belt, and no political party stands up for them effectively.
He was always so ahead of the curve that a lot of people didn't understand him. So that was always hard to watch because I know his love for people and for justice. It doesn't matter to him what people say. He continues to do the work that needs to be done.
I think about what he's done within the criminal justice system, what he's done with making bipartisanship real. Not just what think tanks are doing, not researching the idea, not exploring in history how bipartisanship worked. He's been rolling up his sleeves. He's been doing the work in real life.
Wow. Wow. Did you get all that? He walks through hallways. He looks good. He sounds good. But let's get to the substance. He's been in charge of much change. He has birthed grassroots organizations, climate justice and racial justice. He's been working for that in very broad terms. Basically, he's a talking head, who they like, who they trust. It's one of them. $100 million? Again, this is, my friends, a virtue signal. And the whole darn thing is totally phony. So hypocritical. You heard what Bezos said about never question someone's motives. I can tell you where this is going right now. Where did it go when Joe Biden used to talk about that very thing?
It's always appropriate to question another man's judgment, but never appropriate to question his motives, because you simply don't know his motives.
I never question another man or woman's motive. I question their judgment, but not their motives.
You don't question another man or woman's motive. You can question their judgment, but not their motive. I learned that early lesson. It's always appropriate to question another man or woman's judgment, but never their motive. Once you question their motive, then in fact, there's no way to get to go.
Wow, what an important lesson that he threw away as soon as he became president.
Sick. It's sick. The Republican voters I know find this despicable. Republican voters. And they're trying, not only targeting people of color, they're targeting voters of all races and backgrounds. It's with a simple target. Who did not vote for them? That's the target. It's unconscionable. We have to ask, are you on the side of truth or lies, fact or fiction, justice or injustice, democracy or autocracy? That's what it's coming down to.
Why, we've come a long way from not questioning anyone's motives, right? If you're not with Joe, you're a liar. If you're not on his side, you are the enemy. You are, anyway. That's where this Bezos thing is going. And they just armed a known race baiter / hustler with $100 million. And that is a disgrace.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.